Welcome back to your weekly training, the download, what Amber is processing most in her world, with her clients, with her friends. I'm excited. Today, I'm going to share with you one of my most downloaded podcast episodes, the one that I continuously come back and teach here again and again, but also something that I've taught in my self-love business mentorship program, both of them, because it's something that, especially in the yogic philosophy, we look at as like cloaks or shadows that can kind of cloud the way in which we see ourselves and the way in which we see the world. So whether you're focusing on how can I love myself more, or how can I grow my business to have a bigger impact, it's super relatable. You're going to want to have a pen and paper if you're in a place where you can take notes. If you just have me in your ears, listen now and come back later and take notes. Before we dive in, let's drop in. Place your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your stomach. Take a deep breath in, hold it at the top. And exhale, let it out. Take a deep breath in. Hold it at the top. And exhale, let it out. One more. Inhale all the way to the very top. Exhale, let it go. Take a deep breath in and reach your arms up towards the sky. And as you exhale, draw the hands down to your heart center and just take a moment. Draw your attention into something right now that you're so grateful for. And from deep appreciation, a space of giving thanks, you can begin to open your eyes, release your hands down, and just notice how you feel from when you first started listening. There are 3 malas that we talk about within yogic philosophy, that malas meaning dust or a cloak that really covers your ability to see your true self and the reality as it is. This is part of what I teach in the Standout and Thriving Yoga Teacher or the Standout and Thriving Leader, my business mentorship program, where a Nanava mala, the first mala, is self-obsession, low insecurity, or known as delusion. And if you think about, like, if you have low self-esteem, if you're insecure, if you're self-obsessed, how are you going to be able to show up in confidence in your business, to believe and to know with unwavering confidence that you can have a bigger impact? What happens when we get clouded, we get dusted by Ananava Mala, is we start to hone in on these tiny little details without seeing the bigger picture. So it could be like looking in the mirror and noticing that one part on your body that you don't love. Or you look at your face and you pick out the one zit or the piece of gray hair. You hone in on that part or piece of you that you don't like or that you don't want to like because you're so obsessed with yourself. And now as a teacher, a leader, a coach, you're looking at that one time you forgot to teach the left side, or that one time you forgot to record the class when you promised lifetime access, rather than focusing on how good the class was, rather than focusing on how epic it landed for the clients that were there live. And what happens is we start to block ourselves from really seeing the magic that we are when we look at the big picture. If you've been following me for a while on Instagram or Facebook, getting my emails, you'll know that I have this one thing about me. And it's, I have really bad spelling and grammar. It doesn't matter how many times I spell check it, how many times I test it, how many times I read it. It's just not my strong suit. I'm here to hold space. I'm here to create transformation. I'm here to take you deep into your heart. And spelling and grammar isn't my strong suit. But if I focused on the time I sent a broken link, if I focused on the time I put there instead of there, I wouldn't be able to show up and serve in the same way. This can happen when, rather than looking at how beautiful you are and going and showing up into the class that you teach or presenting, you're like, look at this, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. So you don't. And this can hold us back in our life from falling in love, from putting ourselves out there, or in our business, because we're so obsessed with what we think about ourselves that we don't actually show up and serve our clients, because you're thinking about how you look, how you sound, how you feel, rather than how you can change their lives. And one of the things that is really good for you to know is when you're in the mala of Ananava Mala, you're so delusional that you can't really see yourself as you are. It's really good to have a mentor, to have a business bestie, to have a best friend, to have a family member call you out and just say, hey, like, that's not true. Stop being so hard on yourself. Look at the big picture. And it probably already happens to you right now. You judged yourself for an entire class that you taught. You judged yourself for an entire training you were coaching your clients on. And afterwards, they said, that was the best class I've ever had. Everything you said in that module landed so deep in my heart. And you're like, huh? That's not how it felt for me. It's like, clear off the dust. Our students, our clients, our best friends, our coaches are here to remind us of our truth and take us out of the bubble that we can get in when we hone in, when we zoom in on something so close. So what we need to do is pull ourselves away from the situation. And you can start to contemplate this for yourself, like a time in your life. It could be right now that you're so self-obsessed, it's stopping you from starting. It's stopping from you launching again. It's stopping from you putting yourself out there again. It's stopping from you dating again. Where in your life is Ananavamala holding you back from really going after what it is you desire to do, to create? And then we dive into Maya Mala. This is the cloak where you become so self-obsessed with what other people think about you. This is deception. This is part of where you begin to lie to yourself. You begin to lie to others because you're afraid of what they'll think if they see the real you. So you're putting on a show. You're trying to be someone that you're not because you're afraid of being judged. So rather than saying what you want to say, rather than doing what you want to do, you're pretending. And what happens when we do that online is we create a post for what we think is going to impress people. We create a class for what we think people are going to like. So we start to put on a show. If you look at this in a relationship, the first 6 months of the honeymoon stage, you're just bringing to the relationship what you think is going to be liked, approved, loved by the other person. And you hide parts and pieces of yourself that like 6 months in, they're like, who are you? Where's the person that you were 6 months ago? And even my teacher says it's like when you don't fart in front of someone, you leave early because you don't want to wake up and like have just fresh woke up out of bed, smelly breath, messy hair, or you run to the bathroom and you put your makeup on really quick. You're pretending. And in pretending, you're not practicing satya, or in yoga, we say truthfulness. It's so important that when we're looking at Maya Imala, asking yourself, where am I holding back from doing what I truly desire to do? Are you in your business doing what you think people want, doing what your coach told you to do, doing what you think is going to be the most bought out course? Or are you being super honest with what it is that you desire to do? I know that like right now, one of my clients inside of Amplified Impact was like, Amber, this is the first time I was ever given permission by a coach to launch the program that I was so excited about, rather than what market research told me, what other people said they wanted. And the reason is you're more magnetic. Your course is going to attract more students, more clients when you're passionate about it. Not what you think other people want, but what you desire to teach on. And that often tends to be what it is that you're learning, what it is that you're moving from. If you want to dust off this mala, to really move through any clouded areas, any cloaks that you're wearing, any pretending, it's the commitment to be honest with yourself, to do what it is you desire to do, and to notice when you're trying. In one of my most recent pieces of content, reels on Instagram, I was like, let's get rid of the stand out as an authority type of marketing, where you position yourself as the hierarchy. I think about standing out like an authority, like the parents that are like, do this because I said so. And wasn't that so frustrating? Like, we don't need that. You're going to stand out by being who you are. And when you show up and you're authentically yourself, you're going to attract people that want to work with real people, that want to work with humans. So rather than trying to stand out like an authority, why don't you just show up and be yourself? Have real, authentic relationships. Share behind the scene conversations that you're having with your clients, with your friends, with your family members. And how is it that the work you do in the world is being implemented into these conversations? My best performing content is me sharing behind the scene conversations in my group programs, in my one-on-one conversations, in conversations that I have with my best friends about what I'm moving through and how I'm implementing what I believe to be true. So share your life philosophies, share what it is that you believe in, rather than trying to show up. If you try to be someone you're not in a relationship, the relationship isn't going to work unless forever you're just pretending to be someone else who's done that before. And then they're like, actually, like, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore because I can't be myself. Well, the same thing goes in business. If you're just trying, eventually you're going to burn out. We want to be fulfilled and passionate about our work, which leads us into the third and final mala, which is karma mala. And this is helplessness. When you become ananava malad and maya imalad, or so self-obsessed and so obsessed with what other people think, you put your head in the sand. You don't take any action at all. It's like you're so worried about what you think about you and what other people think about you that you don't start the business. You don't launch a course. You don't go out and date again. You don't have the conversation with your mom or your dad. Or you don't save the money that you make so that you can become financially free. So if you break your leg or you get sick or you have a baby, you don't have any savings. And then you need to ask for help. You have to put a GoFundMe together. You aren't preparing for, in Leela, what we call divine play. In yoga, Leela, divine play. This is, life happens. It doesn't matter how much you meditate, how much personal development you do, how many coaches you have, how many courses you take, how much yoga you do, how much you meditate, how many courses you've taken. It doesn't matter. You're a human and things happen. Life happens. Are you preparing for when those things come up? You're going to get a zit on your face. You might gain 5 pounds. You might leave a relationship. You might have a failed business launch. It happens. You might have wished for 3 people to sign up into your program and no one signs up. You might have wished for 20 and only 15 sign up and you're focusing on the 5 that didn't. Karma Mala, this is where you have to call upon support and just say, hey, I'm not doing so good. Today I'm sad. Today I feel so heavy. Today I'm so fed up with my business. And you just have a real conversation with someone that you can trust and that they can remind you that you're doing good, that this is just a moment, this is just a week, this is just a day. And then when you move out of that phase after you get some support, you show up the next day and you do it all over again. You zoom out long-term vision. It's so important that you have support. When I go through group containers, I'm in masterminds, I'm growing in a yoga teacher training. Those best friends that I make in there are the people that I call upon. Like-minded community with a long-term vision of personal growth and development and becoming the best version of you that you possibly can. The more that you grow as a person, as a human, your business is going to be amplified by that. Your business growth comes from your personal growth. And your personal growth comes from your business growth, because let's be real, having a business is not easy. And you really need to call upon the tools in your toolbox to keep showing up again and again and again. And really looking inside and asking yourself, like, what is your why? Why do you have a business? Why do you want what it is you want? Why is it that you're feeling this way? And so these 3 malas, when we can clear them off, we're able to see who we are at our core. And in that, we get to be mirrored by the external world, and others can see us for who we really are. You know, that one person in your life right now that it doesn't matter what they know about you, they love you no matter what. That's what the world needs now. More leaders that are willing to be vulnerable and share what it actually means to be a human, a spiritual being having a human experience. What I love so much about being a mother, a yogi, a surfer, a business owner, an entrepreneur, a wife, is that each one of these relationships that I have show me that life is evolution, and we are consistently and continuously growing, and that not every day is going to be an uphill journey to the top. It's up and it's down and it's up and it's down, and some days you've got it and other days you don't. One day I can feel like I love being a mother. This is the best feeling in the world. And 10 seconds later, maybe even a minute later, I can feel like I can't be a mom anymore. I don't want to do this. The same thing in my marriage, being a business owner. You know, I've been down here in Pavones at the edge of the world in Costa Rica. It's the second longest left And we've been really surfing as much as we possibly can around my work schedule and our baby schedule and time for our marriage schedule. And some days I can take a wave and write it for an entire minute. I'm just so happy, so proud, so grateful. It's been a 7-year dream to finally do this. And other days I'm so mad, like I'm never surfing again. I'm the worst surfer in the world. This is horrible. And being able to hold the duality of both of those and just knowing that this is the human experience, it shows me that we have the ability and that life is truly about being able to hold the good, the bad, the happy, the sad, the light, the dark, all of it. And to how to not resist or desire one or the other. If I crave every day to just love my son, the moments where he's teething, he's fighting sleep, he's in a developmental stage of pushing his limits, I'm not going to be able to hold the duality when he's in those spaces. But what it does is the moments where he comes and he hugs me and he gives me a kiss, it's like, oh, okay, this is so good. And then when he's sad, he's tired, he's angry, he's like, yeah, this is part of it too. The same thing in business, we can celebrate our best months, clients who love us, retreaters who have the most incredible experience, and ones who want a refund, one who wants to drop out 24 hours after signing up, ones who never sign up, all of it. That's what it is. This is what it is. This is life. And the more that we practice clearing off the malas, to look at the big picture, the entire class, your entire physical body, your entire business, to know that people, the right people, are going to love the good and the bad. When you go to get married, they tell you, you have to be able to enjoy the not so good parts as much as you love the good parts. It's the same thing in your business. It's the same thing in every relationship, to trust that the real lifelong relationships that you have, they can see you for who you are and they'll love that part of you. My clients, they love when I tell them my mistakes. They love when I share with them my downfalls, because then they realize that there is no ladder and they're like, oh, Amber goes through this too? Okay, no worries. Like, I can go through this. It's good. You give your students and your clients permission to be human when you show up and you share your human. And that take action. You have to take action. Like, if you want anything in your life, massive action with long-term vision and devotion to the inner work, you can do, have, or be whatever it is you desire. But no action keeps you exactly where you are. So we dust off the dirt. We clear off the lies that we tell ourselves. We take action. And we practice holding the duality, knowing that it's worth it. It's worth it. And that's where I'm going to leave you today, is deep contemplation. Are you in any of these 3 malas right now? And what can you do in this very moment to clear off the dirt? How can you start to show up for yourself and others? And then reflect on, what relationships do you have in your life right now that show you that life is duality, and to neutralize the up and the down, and to practice detachment from desire of one or the other, or aversion to one or the other, to neutralize it the best that you can, so you can have an overall journey through being a human that is ultimately about growing and becoming the best version of you. If you haven't already started the free 21-day becoming challenge, be sure to do that. I'll link it into the show notes. I'll drop the link here as well in the Facebook group, and I will see you for our training next week. Bye.